A lot of you have been sending me this one, so let's talk about it. This involves Marcellus Wiley, the former NFL star who's from my home state, and his wife, Anne-Marie Wiley, a nurse anesthetist who also appeared on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Over the July 4th weekend, the two were staying at a hotel in Orlando, Florida, when things reportedly took a turn, and Marcellus was arrested and booked on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge.
TMZ reported that Marcellus Wiley, husband of Anne-Marie Wiley, who was also a one-season wonder on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, was arrested on 4th of July for battery and is being held without bond. Now, TMZ did not have all the details surrounding the incident that took place on the 4th of July, but today TMZ is reporting additional details surrounding the incident, and it looks like Anne-Marie was the one to actually call the police. Now, the article goes on to say that the police report that TMZ was able to obtain states that Anne-Marie told police officers that her husband pointed his finger directly into her cheek and threatened to unalive her in front of their children, and this is what sparked her to call the police. She did ask the police to have Marcellus removed for safety reasons, obviously, and although Marcellus denied any of those allegations, it wasn't enough because the cops ultimately did arrest him and are holding him without bond.
Marcellus Wiley's name has dominated sports and entertainment headlines for weeks now, and the story keeps growing. Between a wave of sexual assault lawsuits, a domestic violence arrest, and now a very public divorce, there's a lot to untangle. So let's slow down and go through exactly what's been reported, what's been alleged, and what's actually been proven, because those are three very different things. Before any of this, Wiley was known simply as a solid NFL career defensive end. He played 10 seasons in the league, split between the Buffalo Bills, San Diego Chargers, Dallas Cowboys, and Jacksonville Jaguars, racking up 44 sacks and over 300 tackles across 147 games. After football, he transitioned into sports media, working for both ESPN and Fox Sports, becoming a familiar voice on national sports talk shows. He left Fox in 2022 and pivoted to building his own YouTube channel, which has since grown past 500,000 subscribers, making him one of the more successful former athletes to build an independent media career. The first major allegations against Wiley trace back over 30 years to his time as a student athlete at Columbia University in the mid-1990s. In November 2023, a woman, now an Ivy League professor and sociologist, publicly accused Wiley of raping her in his dorm room in 1994, claiming it happened after he invited her over under the pretense of hanging out. Wiley responded publicly in a YouTube video, firmly denying the allegation and giving his own account of the encounter. That case didn't stay isolated. Over the following months, more women came forward with similar allegations tied to the same era. By early 2025, at least 2 more former Columbia students had filed lawsuits, each alleging that Wiley assaulted them in his dorm room during the fall of 1994, after they'd accepted invitations to visit him. And by this spring, 4 additional accusers had joined the litigation, expanding it further. 2 of them allege assaults that took place in California in the mid to late 1990s, with one saying she reported the alleged assault to the Los Angeles Police Department at the time, though no charges were filed. According to a class action lawsuit filed by both Wiley and Columbia University, the school allegedly discouraged multiple accusers from going to the police, and in at least one case reportedly delayed even addressing a complaint until after an important football game. Wiley was reportedly placed on academic probation rather than facing formal discipline, and was allowed to complete that semester remotely. Columbia has stated in legal filings that it isn't responsible for Wiley's alleged personal conduct and has declined to comment further on pending litigation. Wiley, through his attorney, has denied all of the allegations and is contesting the lawsuits. Separately, a former ESPN production assistant has alleged that Wiley assaulted her in a hotel room in 2009, claiming she had been invited there under the pretense of a work meeting.
Another accuser has alleged that a relationship began when she was a minor after Wiley visited her school as an NFL player, and that the relationship continued over a period of years before an alleged assault took place once she had become an adult. Wiley has denied this allegation as well. On his own podcast, he addressed the broader wave of accusations directly, saying that for every date and encounter being referenced, he either had records of communication with the person involved or had been invited by them to engage after the fact. Now to the most recent chapter, which is what's really pulled this story into the mainstream news cycle. On July 4th, Wiley and his wife Anne-Marie were in Orlando, Florida, where their children were taking part in a basketball tournament over the holiday weekend. Despite being in the process of a divorce, the couple had decided to share a hotel room during the trip, likely to keep things simple for their kids. According to a police affidavit obtained by The Hollywood Reporter, Anne-Marie told deputies that Wiley had poked her in the cheek and told her he was going to kill her. She said she was afraid of his behavior and that the previous morning he had put his hands on her. The responding deputy noted in the official report that the evidence at the scene supported her account, specifically that it appeared Wiley in fact had placed his hands on her against her will. Wiley, for his part, told officers there had never been any physical violence in the relationship. He suggested his wife had called police because of her intention to divorce him, not because of any actual altercation. He also told officers he had been the one taking care of the children that weekend and denied committing any violent act. He was arrested on a misdemeanor domestic battery charge and released the next day after posting a $1,000 bond. According to court filings from Anne-Marie, he still attended her 10-year-old son's basketball game that same night. Just 2 days after the arrest, Anne-Marie Wiley, known to many from her time on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, filed for divorce in Los Angeles and requested a restraining order that would keep Wiley at least 100 yards away from her. The couple had been married since June 2014 and share 3 children together, a 10-year-old son and 2 daughters ages 7 and 6. Wiley also has a 4th daughter from a previous relationship. In her filing, Anne-Marie described what she called a continuing and escalating pattern of physical violence, sexual abuse, verbal and emotional abuse, financial control, and intimidation throughout the marriage. She alleged specific incidents dating back more than a decade, including that Wiley raped her in 2012, punched her in the face and gave her a black eye and split lip in 2014, and threw a bottle at her head when she was 9 months pregnant in 2019. She also alleged that he struck her in the face in 2025 and that in January of this year he dragged her out of bed, berated her, and hit her on the head, followed by 3 additional alleged incidents of rape that same month. She stated that the trauma from these events had left gaps in her memory. Beyond the physical allegations, Anne-Marie claimed financial control, saying Wiley had borrowed roughly $100,000 from her without repaying it, while running up a similar amount on her credit cards, and that she had been forced to empty their children's savings accounts at points during the marriage. She is seeking full legal and physical custody of their 3 children, sole use of their Los Angeles home, spousal support, and coverage of her attorney's fees, and has also requested that Wiley have no visitation with the children going forward. She cited irreconcilable differences as the formal grounds for the divorce. Wiley responded publicly on social media, writing that he completely and unequivocally denies the allegations and is confident the truth will prevail. He has not issued any further public statement addressing the specifics laid out in the court filing. Wiley's arraignment on the domestic battery charge is scheduled for August 4th. The Columbia-related lawsuits and the sexual assault allegations remain separately active in the New York court system, with attorneys for several accusers pushing to have the case certified as a class action. The divorce proceedings will move forward on their own timeline in Los Angeles Family Court. It's worth being precise here. None of these allegations have been proven in a court of law. Wiley has denied them all across every case consistently. What we have right now is a set of formal legal claims, sworn statements, and one police report noting physical evidence at the scene of the July 4th arrest, not a verdict. What makes this story more than just a single incident is the pattern of it. Allegations spanning 3 decades, from a college campus in the 1990s to a sports media career in the 2000s, and now a marriage that appears to be ending amid formal accusations of abuse. Whatever the legal system eventually determines, the sheer accumulation of claims has already had consequences. Wiley's professional life today is built almost entirely on his own media platform, and that kind of career depends heavily on public trust. Sponsors, advertisers, and platforms tend to distance themselves from controversy long before any courtroom reaches a conclusion, because reputational risk moves faster than legal process. It's a pattern that shows up again and again with public figures. Legal outcomes can take years, but public perception shifts in the matter of days. For someone whose income is tied directly to an audience and to brand relationships, that gap between the courtroom and the court of public opinion can matter just as much as the actual verdict. We'll be following this story as the arraignment approaches and as both the civil lawsuits and the divorce case continue to develop. For now, this is everything that's actually been reported and filed. Nothing more, nothing speculated.